It is September of 2022, and it's time for that hypothetical video where if you had money burning a hole in your pocket and you had to spend it on MTG, or else the money would be erased at the end of the year and you wouldn't get it on next year's budget, what would it be?
We will personally be coming around and burning the money if you don't spend it. The video starts right now.
Highest level of gratitude to our patrons who power the channel through Patreon. Check out the Patreon link in the description to learn about monthly giveaways, VIP Discord access, and even our official playmat. Hello and welcome to the day.
Thank you for spending your time with us.
I'm award-winning director Ridley Scott.
I'm that guy with the CGI squid face from that Johnny Depp movie. Welcome back to another episode of Jake and Joel Are Magic. We are discussing our 4 different budgets, 10, 100, 500, 1,000, and saying what we would buy in Magic the Gathering for the month of September in the year 2022. And hey, look, if you like the video by the end of it, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, everybody says it, but it really does help.
And if by the end of the video you really do feel compelled like you need to spend some money, there is a link in the pinned comment section of the video where you can click, and it's an affiliate link that takes you to TCG Player. And if you spend money there, it costs you nothing and it helps the channel. Joel's going to talk about some picks. I have some picks. Joel, are you ready to get on into this?
Let's get it going. Start us off with our $10 level.
I would buy a playset of a card that I think is a little bit undervalued, and nothing on this channel is financial advice, but I was reading this card and I was like, you know what? I think this card has some legs. I would, for $10, I would buy the playset, and it would actually be cheaper, cheaper than $10. I think it would be like $8. But I would buy a playset of Keldon Flamesage from Dominaria United. This is a new card that just came out. And I think this card has some real legs. For 1 red and 2 other, you're getting a 2/3 human shaman with enlist. And whenever it attacks, look at the top X cards of your library where X is its power. You may exile an instant or sorcery card with mana value X or less from among them, put the rest onto the bottom of your library in a random order, and you may cast the exile card without paying its mana cost. This is kind of strong. I feel like if you are to swing with this, use a Titan Strength by the time this attacks, or if you use the enlist to tap a creature you control, add that creature's power to this as it swings, you're going to be able to pretty much cast any instant or sorcery if you've built this into the right deck. So I'm thinking like Pioneer, I'm thinking some sort of like aggro build, possibly standard application. I think that the card is pretty strong.
Yeah, I think it could be a solid, small time spec. I wouldn't run out and buy 100 of this one, but a play set, while the floor is already pretty low, I don't think there's much risk with this spec at all. It's not going to go too much lower, and if it does, you're not, you're losing what, $1, $2 per card. It's not
exactly
not huge, and the potential is really high. There are a lot of decks in Pioneer and Modern that cast a lot of little small spells, reviving their Phoenix or just pushing through with prowess, and this does seem like it could go in a deck like that.
Yeah, and keep in mind as well that this card just came out in Dominaria United, and Dominaria United is going to be in Standard for a long time, so there's a lot of cards that are going to come out that we're going to be able to pair with this. And I just think the floor is really low. I think it's low risk, like you said. All right, so Joel, tell us about your $10 level.
For my $10 level, I am looking at Double Masters 2022, and I am grabbing a copy of Bloom Tender, a base copy of Bloom Tender. I've covered it in a short on the channel, but y'all, this card was like super expensive because it is very powerful, scarce. And it was scarce. Now it is printed. Now it's very affordable, and around $10 I think is a good entry point for Bloom Tender. Low risk. You're always going to play this in your commander decks that have that color identity. I really think that it's a good card. And look, right now the foil etched and the borderless versions are not that much more than the $10. Just to stay at this level, I wanted to say I'm going to pick up a base copy, but you could also spend a couple more bucks and get sort of a premium version if you want to get the little bling for your deck.
Yeah, that's true. You have an etched version that's out right now, and Dominaria, or excuse me, Double Masters 2022 is at a place where it's been out, and now people are thinking like, wait, Dominaria United is out. Do I want to chase the Legends cards? And now Double Masters, which is just packed full of Commander staples, is kind of hitting all-time lows. If you've ever wanted this effect, now is the time to pounce. I mean, Bloom Tender's just such a strong card.
So moving into the $100 level, I've got three different cards that add up to 110. Okay, so what you can do is ignore my $10 level and say, I'm not going to get a Bloom Tender. I'm going to get the three cards that Joel's recommending here. Or you can just stop yelling at me and my $100 level can be a $110 level. Okay, it's fine.
Hey, that's okay. I think if you're in the ballpark of like $10, I think that that's fine.
So for the $110, I am going to pick up from Double Masters 22. You can see a theme with how my choices went in this month. I want to pick up Borderless Phyrexian Altar for $40. I want to pick up Borderless Smothering Tithe for $40. And I want to pick up Borderless Sensei's Divining Top for $30. Jake, when I name those three cards, do you think that there's anything with those three cards, especially the borderless full art versions of them, that is risky about picking these up at 30, 40, and 40 respectively?
Those cards are all low risk, and I think that Wizards of the Coast would be silly to bring back any of the special art that was used in Double Masters 2022. So whereas we are going to see many reprints of, you know, standard art for cards, any of the borderless treatments, any of the special art, I think it just lives and dies in that one set.
Right.
But yeah, I think all those cards are good low risk pickups. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Jake, what about you at $100 level? What are you picking up?
All right, so at 100 for me, it's funny, I actually had three things in my 100 as well. And as of the filming right now, there are 12 days left on Secret Lair over on secretlair.wizards.com. And I would be picking up three of the non-foil lair, that is the Artist Series Nils Ham. Talking just about the four cards in this one specific lair, you have, in each of these are $29.99. So again, I would buy three of them. You have Deep Glow Skate, Tireless Tracker, Contagion Engine, and Sword of Truth and Justice. This is the only secret lair I can think of in recent memory that has a sword in it, which is a pretty big deal. Sword of Truth and Justice, it's a good card. It was originally printed in Modern Horizons, but you also have Contagion Engine in here, which is a huge card in any deck that wants proliferate effects. And then you also have Tireless Tracker, which is a tried and true card, very strong. It's kind of lost some value, but it's still very good. And then Deep Glow Skate, which it's really great for counter synergies, matters kind of type strategies. But for $90, I would buy three of these: one to open, two to sit on, flip them later, and then you break even. That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, a lot of times with those secret layers, it's not uncommon for, you know, a buy two, sell the other later down the road, get a free secret layer kind of strategy. And so, you know, adding one on top of that just adds profit. Yeah, I like that pick. Jake, what about your $500 level? We're working towards 1,000. What are you picking up at 500?
All right, now it's funny because at 500, this is going to be kind of controversial because I just did a video where I was talking about Dominaria United collector boosters. Is it worth it? And I said in that video, if you're buying this with the intention of finding Legends cards, you're going to be really disappointed. But at my $500 level, I do have two sealed Dominaria United collector booster boxes, and I would sit on them. I would not open them. That's the big difference. These would go into the collection. They would just sit, because even though the odds are super stacked against you to find a good Legends card, the thought of what could be will be very attractive to collectors in the future. So I think low risk right now is good.
Bro, look at boxes of Zendikar or boxes of Kaladesh. The very low chance, will hold those prices up over time because it's the power of what could be.
It's the power of what could be. So while those boxes are sealed, they're like little chunks of gold. And I think that right now, you know, you could get a box around $250 if you are specifically going to keep it sealed, because people are they're gonna want to crucify me in the comments. They're gonna be like, but you were so critical of the product, and I still am. However, I know that collectors are going to want it down the line, especially if they know that there are Legends cards in it, which it's the thought of pulling the $4,500 Tabernacle.
Right.
You know, even though it's a microscopic chance, we're saying that in the video, it's the tiniest chance imaginable. It's literally like 0.00% chance, but people will still want them in the future for what could be. All right, Joel, tell us your $500 level. What do you got?
Depending on who you are, I either made a boring choice or an awesome choice. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
$500 revised Underground Sea. Done.
Whoa. Is it really under 500 right now?
It's around 500 depending on, like, you know, what quality of card you are picking up. But
sure.
This is a staple land that's going to be great forever. It's always going to be awesome. If I could find a $500 version of it, I'm definitely snapping it off. If I've got the money in my pocket and it's burning a hole. I never do choices like this, really. I'm normally, you know, get some value and combine some different things. But with this one card, bing, bang, boom, $500 level, revised Underground Sea. Yell at me in the comments if $500 is wishful thinking for a copy. A revised version.
I mean, if you
of this,
you could find one that with like corners that look like alpha. I'm sure that you could find one out there that exists that is around the $500 range. You know, it's the cornerstone of a collection. Really,
sure.
Good lands. And yeah, it being reserve list, you know, they're going to figure out tons of different ways of like, how do we create a duel that does what the duels do, that isn't a duel, that people are still going to like, but it'll never be as good as just the OG. And
right.
Underground Sea is irrefutably the best one. Blue and black are the best colors in MTG, and people are going to be like, how dare you say that?
Forest!
But the price of the land reflects it.
All right, let's double the value here and go to our highest level in this video, $1,000. What would I purchase? Jake?
It's a lot of money.
In the same vein as your $500 tier, I'm going to pick up 3 boxes of Double Masters 2022 collector packs.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to seal them in a bag that I put in a box that I put in a safe. And I'm going
with a silica packet.
With a silica packet. And I'm going to sit on them for 5 years. And then in 5 years, I'm going to open that safe. I'm going to go, look at all this money.
Dude, I mean, and the thing is sealed has a track record of being just, if you can resist wanting to open it,
right?
If it can just become a thing to you, a paperweight that you're like, there's my expensive paperweights and they just are here and I set them to the side. Yeah, I think that's a good choice. I think Double Masters 2022 is a strong product. They're super expensive.
Yeah, $285.
Like,
they are $285 each. So you do the math, that's coming out to a little less than $1,000, but don't have enough room for the 4th on
tax,
there. Right,
shipping.
Exactly. So for the plus, I'm gonna have to go to Costco and buy a safe, because if I'm putting, you know, some sort of like long-term retirement money away, I'm not just putting that on a shelf to suffer any damage that could possibly happen to it. So, you know, fireproof, waterproof, safe, that has to be included in the price of this so that I can make sure that all of this stuff is protected and I can sell it later down the road. But yeah, $285 right now. I think they will go up. I think it's inevitable that they do go up. And, you know, that's where I'd park that money right now. What about you? What about $1,000 tier? Where would you land?
All right, so for around $900, but it'd be pretty close to $1,000 after tax and shipping. I would buy one of each textured foil from Double Masters, and the reason is because I would buy one of each textured foil from Double Masters 2022. The reason is because so many people on the internet were saying, oh no, they're going to be $1,000 a piece. So I would buy all of them. If I had money burning a hole in my pocket, I'd buy all of them just to be a vested interest in tracking the price of these cards. Just over the years, they would all go into a binder. You could buy them all near mint right now.
Right.
Just, I would put them in a binder. I would not touch them. These would just be whatever my textured foil collection. $900. You can get all of them right now. Ren and 6 is the most expensive, followed just behind by Liliana. And then the Eldrazi's are pretty much tied except for Emrakul, which is around $100.
Yeah.
So Yeah, dude, the way that I feel about these, Double Masters is at the bottom right now. So I think that the ones that people care about will trickle back up, but I think it's a long, slow grind. It's like buying something low risk that's already expensive.
Yeah.
But then you're going to see slow gains. So if you have one of these textured foils only showing up in one in like 32 of these packs, I mean, that's a pretty big deal. It seems pretty scarce in a product that is already super expensive. So it just kind of says to me, there's a lot of them out there right now. We're at rock bottom on these. They may dip lower, but it might be the kind of thing where we're close to the bottom already. We have such a fun time hypothetically going out there and spending money that doesn't exist. It almost feels too good.
That's what we would buy. Let us know what you would buy in the comments below, and you might see yourself pop up in a what you're buying video that normally follows in the wake of these vids. Other than that, Jake, I'm tapped out.
I am gonna go decompress, make sure that I don't spend money. I've been thinking about MTG cards here in this video. I see some stuff that I do want to buy, but I don't want to go out there and just buy all those textured foils. That just seems like super low risk.